Welcome back, Exiles. I'm Cyclone9, and this is Balling on a Budget Episode 1, where I take community selected builds and try to make them function on a restrictive budget. All gear acquisition is via the trade site and documented for your viewing pleasure. All trade links are provided in the description so you can go out and easily replicate my successes or failures if you choose to do so. If you have a build you're thinking about trying and want to know if you can make it ball on a budget, let me know down in the comment section. I will select the build for episode 2 based on your guys' comments. As you know, I've been rocking Witch Minion Infernalist for a while. It's probably the best noob-friendly, budget-friendly starter build for all content, but the downside, it seriously lacks visual clarity. Here I am completing a Breachstone on my Witch Minion Infernalist. Stay tuned to the channel as I will be making a build guide for this exact build eventually. For episode 1 of this series, I found a YouTube creator, Panzerfaust, who made a Hexblast Blood Mage build that's both fresh and so clean, as well as powerful. Let's check out the intro to their build guide. Yeah, that's pretty sick. Nice intro. Guys, the link to the full video is going to be in the description. Go give it a like. Go give Panzerfaust a subscribe. New content creator. Let's support each other on this journey. Bing, bing. So in Panzer's build guide, it looks like the base starting gear is going to run you around 10 divines, and with luxury upgrades, you could be spending 50 to 100 divines to get this build to the pinnacle of its strength. So you can invest a lot in this build, and it can be destructive. Today, obviously, we're going to be using one divine and see if we can get it to function and hopefully clear some tier 15 maps and some bosses and whatnot and see what we can do with it. So today I went and sold a one divine at the current exchange rate, which at the time of selling it, it was 114 exalts. So that's our budget. I'm going to pop that right there in my inventory. And there you have it. We are ready to start buying our items. All right, guys, now that we got our budget ready and in our inventory, in our bag, we are ready to head over the trade site and start acquiring the gear we need to enable this build. There are 2 uniques we need, and we're going to start off with the first one of those 2, namely the Everlasting Gaze Azure Amulet. It's a unique item, so there's not a lot of need to change on the trade site. I set the buyout price to Exalted Orb, and I set the max buyout to 15 exalts. So let's hit search. It looks like we have 29 results to choose from. The main stat to prioritize on this is gain 20%, 27%, or X% of maximum mana as extra maximum energy shield. So we're going to sort by that percentage to find the highest one and see what we can find. So we message this fine individual who's going to sell us the amulet for 15 exalts. Let's go ahead and head on over to that person's hideout and acquire our first piece of gear. So exciting. In case you didn't know, you can shift click and then type in the number of exalts you want to trade for. Got 15 in there. Checking out this amulet, and it looks good to me. We're accepting the trade. Thank you very much, kind sir. I appreciate it. And we're moving on to our second piece of gear. All right, guys, with 99 exalts left in our budget, we're going to move on to the next unique item that we're going to acquire, which is Kotoko's Current Jeweled Gloves. Here on the trade link I'm going to share with you guys, I put Dexterity as a minimum of 20, which is actually the max roll on the gloves. The energy shield is a little less important because it's not a high energy shield unique. It can roll up to 50, but we're only going to put 40 in there. Buyout price is a max of 3 exalts. And the number one thing we're looking for is less reduced attack and cast speed. So we're going to sort by that to have the lowest percentage reduced attack and cast speed. And the important thing to note about this unique is that lightning damage from hits contribute to electrocution buildup. As Archmage, we're doing primarily lightning damage. and we're wanting to shock the crap out of everyone. So this is going to help electrocute all of our foes, and that is the reason why we're acquiring it for our build. So let's go ahead and see what we can find. We got 100 results to choose from. Shouldn't be too difficult. All right, we messaged this fine individual to try and buy the gloves for 2 exalts. So we're headed on over to his hideout. Checking out the gloves, we found one with 11% reduced in attack and a cast speed for 2 exalts. And blam, just like that, we got our second item and the only other unique we're going to need to enable this build. All right, with 97 exalted orbs remaining in our budget, we're going to go and acquire our primary weapon, which is going to be a wand. Any wand will do. The skill that it gives you is not important. And this is where it gets a little more complicated in terms of how we set up the trade site to find us the best value for our money. So first off, plus to level of all chaos spell skills is set to 4. This goes to a maximum of 5, but we can't break the bank with our budget build, so we're going with 4. We are a mana stacker, so we're going to put in 150 mana minimum. We need increased spell damage, so we put 90 there. And then we're going to do a weighted sum for increased cast speed and intelligence, which are some additional stats we're wanting to find on our wand. This is where we're going to spend the majority of our budget, so we're leaving this blank just to see what we can find. I'm going to hit search. Then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to sort by the highest sum. As you can see here, right out the gate, we found one with all of the mandatory things, and it's got 31% increased attack speed. This also has some increased mana regeneration, which is nice to have, and it's only 20 exalts. Well, I scrolled down a little bit and I found one for 1 exalted listed 4 days ago. It has everything that we need on it, including 29 intelligence. So we're going to see if we can message to this guy and if he'll hook us up with this wand for 1 exalt. If not, we're looking at, around the 20 exalted orb price point. And look at that. He got back to us, so we're headed on over to his hideout. And it looks like we're going to get hooked up with a wand for 1 exalt. I know this is maybe a little bit lucky, but you're going to find stuff like this if you're diligent about searching. So I am going to acquire that, and we can even slam it with another exalt to see what we get on it. Thank you, good sir. I really do appreciate it. We're headed back to our hideout, and we're going directly in to slam an exalt on this and see. Oh wait, no, it's already got 6. They're hybrid. Ah, I see. Okay, so we can't slam an exalt on this, but we acquired a wand for 1 exalt, so we're going to be pretty happy with that. I may come back and revisit this, maybe spend 20 exalts and get something different, but for now we're going to test it out with this and be pretty happy we got a discounted deal on that one. Word. So one thing I didn't realize is that this has a level requirement of 78. So we're actually we messaged another person for a wand they're selling for 20 exalts, which may be a bit more realistic for those of you that are also trying to gear up on a budget. And we're going to go acquire this wand that we can equip right away. There we have it. We acquired that wand. And right there in our inventory, it automatically equipped. Here is a view of it. Cost us 20 exalts. Moving right along. Alright guys, so we are burning through our budget. We got 76 exalted orbs left to spend, and the next item we need to acquire is our helmet. Coming on over to the trade site, this is where some of the magic happens. So I set it up to look for any helmet that has at least 100 energy shield, with 0 armor and 0 evasion. We want a pure energy shield helmet. We set the buyout to exalted orbs with a max price of 15. The mandatory stats we want to find on it are +2 to minion skills and 150 maximum mana. And down here, this is where the magic happens. I made a whole video on how to use some of these advanced features in the trade site to optimize your trades and get the best value. What we did is we set up a weighted sum with lightning, fire, cold, chaos resistance, all res, and maximum life. So we can go ahead and hit search. Now we have 154 things that match this criteria, but what we want to find is the best value out of the things that we're looking for. So we're going to sort by sum. And as you can see here, now we have everything that we need with the highest amount of possible resistances out of any of the resistances. So right out the gate, we have one for 8 exalts, but this guy's AFK. Next up, we got this one for 10 exalts. It's got life, mana, minion skills, increased energy shield, and it's got 2 resistances. I'm going to go ahead and whisper this guy and see if he responds. While I'm doing that, I'll search through the rest of the listings and see what else we can find. So that very first guy I messaged already responded. And he actually came to me. Oh my god, he came to me. All right, he made it back to his hideout, and we're going to trade him for 10 exalts for that beautiful helmet that's going to help us with our build. Ding! Helmet acquired. All right, guys, we're looking a little less homely now with that we got a fly hat to wear, that expert wicker tiara, but our budget is rapidly decreasing. We got 66 exalt orbs left, and the next item we need to acquire is our body armor. So for body armor, we're going to want 500 minimum energy shield. We'll just put 0 on armor, 0 on evasion, just in case. So we're finding just energy shield bases. The maximum amount we're going to spend on this is 20. Hopefully we don't have to go that high. We are making it mandatory to have 50 spirit on it. And then we're doing a weighted sum for all of our resistances to find the best bang for our buck. We'll hit the search button. And there's legit 1 result. So I'll modify the search to go a little bit wider. We're going to whisper this guy and see if we can't acquire this beautiful chest piece for 1 exalt that was listed 4 hours ago. So of course that was going to be too good to be true, 1 exalt. So we lowered our criteria. We put it down to 490 energy shield and 48 spirit to see what we could find. And we're going to sort by sum. The mystical 1 exalted orb is still the highest value for our money, but we're not going to be able to get that one. Down here we got one that's going to help us with faster start of energy shield recharge. It's got everything that we need. It's not super high on resistances, but it's only 15 exalts. And then we have this one down here for 20 exalts. It's got a little bit more spirit, but it only has 1 resistance, but it's the resistance we need more of, for which being lightning resistance currently. But we're going to try for the 15 exalted one. Let's see what happens. So this lovely individual did end up getting back to us for that body armor, and he's going to sell it to us for 15 exalts, and that's just fantastic, isn't it? And there it is, all socketed up and ready to go. Thank you, my fine friend. Appreciate your business. You have a lovely day. Another piece acquired, boys and girls. All right, guys, we got our body armor, and we're looking a bit more fly. The cleavage is out. The skirt is split, so we can do the high kicks as we're gallivanting through the map, blowing up monsters left and right. As you can see, our resistances are still pretty scuffed. We need to get some lightning resistance, hopefully, on some of the next pieces. Of course, we can fill gaps on our jewelry, our belt, and our rings, so we'll continue keeping an eye on this. Our budget is down to 51 exalts remaining, and the next piece of gear we're wanting to acquire is some fly kicks. So we're looking for boots. We're looking for boots with a minimum of 120 energy shield. We're looking for boots that have a minimum of 30% movement speed. They got to have mana, and we want the most amount of resistances we can get with our handy dandy weighted sum. Max buyout price is set to exalted orbs, and it's going to be a 15, but hopefully we find something a little bit better as we're running out of our budget very rapidly. So I'm going to search. We got 41 results. We're going to search by the sum to find the highest value for our money, and look at that pretty pair of kicks right there. It's got a lot of lightning resistance, which is actually what we need. So this would be beautiful if this individual will get back to us and sell us these beautiful pair of boots. So let's see if we can acquire them. Well, that first individual did not get back to us, and you gotta expect a little bit of that. We're looking at the next two pieces of gear here, and this one also has lightning resistance. As I mentioned, we do need that, but it's 15 exalts, and our budget is running out. This one is only 10, and it's got fire and cold. I'm gonna message this guy and see if he'll do it for 10 exalts, and I'll get back to you and see if he's gonna hook it up like that. One thing that's worth noting, guys, if you're going to ask someone for a discount, make sure you put it directly after you whisper them. So they didn't have to leave their map expecting to sell an item at full price and then only to realize that you're asking for a discount. You can't wait for them to leave the map, go to their hideout, and then ask for the discount. It's incredibly annoying. So you got to be super fast. The second after you whisper them, if you're intending on asking for a discount, ask them immediately so they can decline and not have to leave their map or whatever they're doing at that current moment. This guy did not get back to me, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one down. I'm going to try and see if this guy will sell it to me for 10 exalts. It's so funny, right? As I was talking about, don't message people after you're already in their hideout looking to trade and then ask for a discount. This random individual just contacted me before he even sent the whisper, asked for the discount. He wanted it for 5 divs, my item that I had listed for 10. Thankfully, he sent me asking for the discount first, and then we were able to negotiate. So I'm going to sell him this ring, which is like a baller ring right here for 10 divine that I had it listed for. I'm going to sell it to him for 7 and hook it up. So here we go. We'll do this 7 divine trade, and that is the way to go about trading if you're planning on asking for a discount. What a nice individual, and look at that ring. Is that not just gorgeous? Tons of resistances and flat damage to attack. There's 7 more divine in the bank. Too bad we can't add that to our budget, but we're doing a challenge here. Thank you, good sir. I appreciate your business. All right, the next friendo did get back to me about the boots I want to acquire, so we're going to go get us some flag kicks for 10 exalts. And there we have it. Boots acquired, baby. Moving right along, we need to get some lightning resistance, and we got 41 exalts remaining. The next item we got to acquire is a belt. And we need to get a belt with some lightning resistances. So here I have it gated by Exalted Orb only, 15 max buyout. We need mana on it. We need life on it, mandatory. And we need as many resistances as we can get, preferably lightning resistance. So let's see what we can find. We're going to hit search. We're going to sort by the highest sum available. And right out the gate, we got our mandatory things, life, mana. And this one's got a bunch of resistances on it. It's got a sum of 72. It's got a lot of fire and a lot of lightning. 15 exalts. Dang, we're eating through the budget. I might ask him for a discount and see how it goes. So what you want to do if you're going to ask for a discount, as we mentioned before, is I'll just copy the whisper. I'll go in game, paste it right here. But first I'm going to message him. So I just erased the original whisper. And I'm going to ask him if he can hook me up for a budget price. Then I'll go back to the trade site and use the actual whisper. And look at that. He's gonna hook it up, boys and girls. Ooh, we got a nice new shiny belt for 10 exalts. So that fine individual did hook it up for 10 exalts. And he likely did it because I was courteous and before messaging him with the whisper, said that I was looking to get a discount. So case in point, there we go. We got a 5 exalt discount on our belt just by asking and being polite about it. Cool. Well, we got 3 gear pieces left, and we got 31 exalts left in our budget. So we're looking at 10 exalts a piece to fix these scuffed resistances. Still at -12 for lightning. We need to patch that up. We definitely need more cold. And we're not going to highly prioritize chaos because we're going Eldritch Battery Mind Over Matter. And we have a ton of leech as Blood Mage uh, ascendancy. So the next piece of gear we're going to be looking at is rings. So on the ring trade site, on the site for the rings, I set it up to be exalted orbs only. I'm going to have a 10 maximum buyout. They need to have mana on them, and they need to have lightning damage. I'm not going to specify an amount, and for now I'm leaving off max life. You can check that on if you're using the same my trade link, but for now I'm leaving these blank. I want to have max life, so I actually added it as part of the equation here. I'm weighting it slightly lower than the resistances because it's a lot higher rolls. You know, for every 1 resistance, you can approximately get 2 points of life or whatever it is. So I changed the weighted sum to finagle it to find the best bang for our buck. We're gonna hit the search button and see what we can find. We're gonna search by sum. And let's check out what we got here. So this one has lightning damage, 29%, pretty good, high mana. And it does have lightning resistance, but it's got really low fire, and we kind of need cold. I'm going to keep looking. This one's got cold as the implicit. I like the start to this. 27 lightning damage, 211 mana, and another 13 lightning. So this one looks really nice to me because it's got the lightning and cold that I need to patch up, and it's got really high mana. So I'm going to see if this person will sell me this beautiful ring. And that person did indeed get back to me, so we are headed on over to his hideout to buy this 10x ring. And of course, he's gallivanting around in his map, gonna make me wait. Alright, here we are. We got our ring. We're gonna accept. We're gonna say thank you very much. And we're gonna head back to our hideout and check out our resistances and see what we can do with the remainder of our budget. All right, guys, we got a budget of 21 exalts. We still need a crap ton of lightning resistance and a good amount of cold resistance to fill the gaps in our defenses. We only got 1 ring slot left to do it in, so looks like we're going to have a little bit of scuffed resistances after staying in our budget, but you can increase your budget a little bit. And definitely want to prioritize getting all your resistances capped, all of your elementals, and a little bit of chaos, even on a build like this. It's not going to be bad. But we got 1 ring left to go hunt down, so we're going to go about doing that right now. And maybe we'll make some modifications to our filter to ensure that we get some lightning resistance. We probably need at least 20 on this piece, if not more. Let's try for 30 and see what we can find. Nothing found. We're going to decrease the mana down to 180 and see if we can find one with 30 resistance. So here we go. We got cold, lightning, mana, all res. This is actually phenomenal. This is probably exactly what we're looking for right here. And it still has lightning damage, obviously, because that's mandatory. We're going to try and get this one for 5 exalts, and I'll be very happy if we do. Alright, guys, that first person didn't respawn, but we opened up our restrictions, our guidelines for what we were searching for by just a touch more, and we were able to find this ring right here that'll actually give us some rarity. It's going to give us lightning res and all res. So pretty sweet. Got that for 10 exalts, and we are 1 piece away from completing our budget gear set. Alright, boys and girls, we're down to 11 exalts, and all we need last is our offhand. We need a Scepter that's going to hook us up with Spirit. One thing worth mentioning, in Panzer's original build guide, he does a weapon swap, so he uses a better combination of weapons for Detonate Dead. We obviously don't have the budget to do that. So ideally we could get a Scepter that also has plus to minion skills, but we'll see what we can find. Let's bring over the trade site. All right. So we're looking for mandatory 65 spirit on our Scepter and 155 mana. We're not going to gate it by Exalted Orb. Actually, we will. We'll get it. No, we're not going to gate it. We're going to see what we can find. Maybe we break the budget just a touch to find something decent. Or maybe we find something that's amazing right out the gate. We'll have to find out. So, got this for 4 exalts. It's not amazing. 20 exalts. So this is the least expensive one right here for 4 exalts. Should we just pick it up and call it good? Or should we look at ones that have minion skills, plus to minion skills? 60 exalts minimum. So we will not be getting one with spirit, mana, and plus to minion skills for our budget build. But if you had a little bit more cash to spend, you could find something like that. Or you can go the weapon swap route, where you don't have to prioritize mana or whatever, and you can just prioritize minion levels on your offhand for Detonate Dead. But we're going to try and get this one for 4 exalts. Popped up 4 minutes ago. Let's see what we can do. Alright guys, so we had to finagle the numbers. We definitely decreased the spirit. Hopefully it's not mandatory for our build to function. We'll find out after we tally everything up. We lowered the amount of mana, but we added plus level to all minion skills. I did a search, and look what popped up. And this is why it's good to always play around with the numbers a little bit, especially when you're not using a weighted sum. When you're putting hard lines on your requirements, just using the stat filters, oftentimes you'll miss something. So you need to sometimes open up those numbers a little bit to find something new. We found this for 1 exalt. I'm going to see if he'll sell it to us. And we got a couple other options at 1 exalt too, which are not terrible. This one gives increase to minion life. So it's going to be really good for Detonate Dead, as well as our main Hexblast skill with the increased mana. So this would be ideal to get. We'll see what happens. So after doing a little bit more searching, I found one for 10 exalts. That's going to have a +3 to minion. Doesn't have the increased minion life, which is unfortunate. But it's got pretty much everything else I need. That's mandatory for the build. So we'll hopefully figure it out with this. Alright guys, at the end of that last clip, the first person I messaged who was going to sell me a Scepter for 1x messaged me and said he'd give it to me for free. But I didn't really need it. I grabbed it just in case. And here's the 1x remainder from that we had in our budget. This one cost me 10x, and it's got +3 to minion skills. It's probably going to be better with the +3 rather than the +2, even though this one has increased to maximum life, which is good for Detonate Dead. But also what I realized is these require level 78. So I had this shield in my stash. It's a 1x shield. It's basically a shield you can get for 1x all day, every day. I'm just going to throw it on until I can get 3 levels. I'm going to test out the build with this shield equipped until I can get 3 levels to equip my offhand. So let's get into a map and see if we're going to fall flat on our face or if budget Hexblast Blood Mage is actually a thing that's possible. I'm very curious to find out. Before we hop in the map, I just want to go over a couple of things. We didn't manage to get our resistances capped, but we managed to stay under budget with it, which is pretty miraculous. The 17% chaos is coming all from the shield, so I'm not going to have that in game, but I'm going to have a lot more spirit and more mana, which equates to more damage. So I just wanted to make a note of that. Yeah. Let's get into a map. Alright guys, so what I realize is that I cannot use this shield essentially because I need more spirit for the build to function. In order for the build to function, I need to have Blasphemy going, and I need to have enough spirit for that. What Blasphemy does is it turns a curse into an aura, essentially. So enemies come close to me, they get cursed, and then I can cast my Hexblast, which detonates that curse, dealing damage. So I actually had to equip this super low level scepter that was just randomly in my inventory that's worth nothing in order for the build to actually function. I'm going to try and gain 3 levels so I can equip my actual offhand, and then we'll do the real testing. Also, something worth noting, I have 2 ascendancies right now. Probably want to go get that 3rd one before we do the final test on the build. I'll keep you guys posted. Alright guys, I got my 3 levels. I'm level 78. Got my Scepter equipped that I couldn't equip beforehand, and we're going to go into a tier 10 map and test it out. Let's rock. You know what, guys? F it. We are going right in. We're going to Seepage on a tier 15 map that's corrupted. It's got a breach, it's got a ritual map boss. Let's see what this build can do with 1 divine worth of gear. Here we are, boys. Are we going to rip, or do you think we can do it? It's going to be slow, I'll tell you that much. Or maybe it won't be slow, as we just one-shot everything. Woo! Let's just go in. YOLO, boys. YOLO, boys and girls. I gotta say, I am astonished that I didn't rip that. That's a lot of rare monsters in one little area. That's a lot of dead rare monsters in one little area. Hey. It's worth noting that I don't even have enough spirit to run sacrifice right now, so I can't even detonate my own corpses, which is where a lot of the issues are arising. Can we change something out? I think we need to turn off Grim Feast. Oh wait, we have sacrifice on. Okay, we can run 1 skeletal brute without Grim Feast, so we can sacrifice it to use Detonate Dead. And we're going to go with that. See if it actually works on the boss. So we really do need a lot more spirit, because this is just not working. With that being said, I'm alive. Okay? So with more spirit, with more investment, this is a tier 15 boss. Oh yes. Can you do it, boys? The struggle is real. And there we have it. Tier 15 corrupted boss down. It took some time, not gonna lie. And I had to make some on-the-fly changes, so I don't want Sacrifice anymore. I want Grim Feast back up. Ideally, you're just going to be running both of them. I'm actually very impressed with it so far. I'm really impressed. I'm not actually good at playing this build yet at all. That's the other component. Wow, that Detonate Dead without even having it really specced into it does heap loads of damage. Come on over and stand on top of these corpses for me, will ya? 1 divine. And I'm clearing tier 15 maps with a boss in it. Clearing a tier 15 breach. Here we got an essence. And there goes the essence. In essence, that essence was deleted. And that is a completed tier 15 map. What's up, boys and girls? Welcome to the Hexmage. Got 2 levels in that map. Because I'm so underleveled for the area. Absolutely insane. I'm impressed. And that does it. Absolutely bananas. Look at all that loot with this brand new character. Freshly geared with a bunch of... I mean, I want to be kind, but essentially kind of garbage gear. Budget gear. That's the term we're looking for. Budget gear. Yeah. Less than 1 divine worth of gear. Clearing tier 15 maps with map bosses. I'm going to call this challenge a success. What would you say? Guys, there's 2 other things I want to point out. that is just blowing my mind as I'm put my last 2 levels that I just gained into my passive tree. Right now I have 0 jewels. I have no jewels in my sockets. There's 3 available. And then in addition to that, my main damage skill is on a 3-link. I didn't even use a greater jewelers on this for Hexblast or Detonate Dead. The amount that this build can be scaled up by just adding a bit more of currency is kind of insane. Just a little bit of food for thought for you there. Here's another tier 15 breach at 5x speed. Alright guys, I've been playing around with the build a bit more. Actually, you know, just mapping with it. I haven't changed a single piece of gear. I'm still running all of that stuff that was under 1 divine budget, and I'm about to run another map boss. We're going to do a tier 15 map. Let's see how it goes. Boom, just like that, he's down. Pretty damn fast for a scuffed ass build on a 1 divine budget that's not even geared properly to actually function how the build is supposed to function. I just gotta say, I'm impressed, man. That was a tier 15 map. And again, here's my gear. It's all the stuff that I purchased within the budget. Pretty awesome. Alright guys, well, the proof is in the pudding. I would say this challenge is a success. You can kill till T15 map bosses and breaches on Hexblast DD Blood Mage on a 1 divine budget. With 20 to 40x more, I think you can make it really comfortable. You can cap your resistances and get that weapon swap for Detonate Dead to absolutely delete bosses. With more investment, you could take this build to the moon. I am sure of it. Have you been wondering what to play next? And are you curious if you can get it to baller status on a budget? Let me know down in the comments what build you'd like to see me do for episode 2. If you made it this far, guys, I just really want to thank you for watching. I'm super appreciative of everyone who's engaging with the content. It makes a huge difference for a new content creator such as myself. And with that, we have completed episode 1 of Balling on a Budget. So I'm Cyclone9. You know what to do. See you in the next video. Peace, love, and abundance to you and yours. I am out.